Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. This is the cat we did in a previous video. My daughter's here again. Say hello, Katie.
Hello, Katie.
And apparently today we're building a diorama for it. So, let's get on with it. Right.
Figure out what we do.
So, well, yeah, we'll just put the cat to one side for a minute because we don't want it getting...
Give it...
No, I was going to put it up there, out of the way.
Go.
There you go. The cat can sit up there and watch. So, what is it going to be?
It's going to be like a tip.
A rubbish tip.
Not a tip, but like a landfill.
A landfill, right. Anyway, so we're going to do something fairly simple. We've already got some stuff over here, you can see. So we've got here a sheet of, rather battered sheet of polystyrene, but that's going to be the base. You made some very nice barbed wire. Well done, that's very good. So we've got some barbed wire that we're going to use. We'll put that to one side for a minute. What we've got to do first is make the base. So what we're going to do is, I mean, obviously we could spend hours and hours and hours doing this, making hundreds of little tiny, you know, tin cans and sweet wrappers and all this kind of stuff, but we're not doing that. Because if something's hard to do, what is it? It's not worth doing. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to try a little shortcut. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some texture on this, put some like little hillocks and things on it, out of sculpt mold. Well, not sculpt mold, but the stuff I made before. I'll show you again. And then we're going to make some rubbish bags so we can cover it in rubbish. So it looks like a big pile of rubbish bags, but we don't need to make hundreds of them. That's the plan. So first thing we need to do is make our little pile of stuff. So I'm going to use a technique that I've used before, making some fake or some homemade sculptor mold. Sorry, excuse me while I put my gloves on because I don't want to get plaster of Paris all over my hands. So what we need is a suitable container, and I think one of these will do if I can get my part. So this is a Chinese tub.
No, it's not. It's made in the UK.
I know, I said they're quite interesting. They're actually made in the UK, but it's made for Chinese. It's the takeaway food, you know. So I've got my little tray here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take plaster of Paris, toilet paper. Right, are you watching, child? Are you ready for this? Are you ready to be stunned and amazed?
Yeah.
Right. Spoon. So I think we're going to need quite a lot actually. That much. Right, your job while this is happening, you're going to take this toilet paper.
Fine. Everything's fine. Ah, there's a pigeon on the roof.
There's always pigeons on the roof. And you're going to tear it, basically each sheet into like 3 or 4 bits, like that. See? So basically just, doesn't have to be perfect, just tear it in half again. Like that. Or a big pile of that. While I mix this with the... Well, you can come a bit nearer. Just sitting on the side of the workshop. And you need to be quick.
What?
You need to be quick. Right, so we'll add a bit of water to this. And we will mix it. Probably need a lot more water than that, but still. I think, to be honest, you could probably use a cheap filler for this. But I prefer using the plaster of Paris, plus the fact I've got tons of the stuff. Alright, how are you getting on?
On a roll.
Huh?
On a roll.
Did you say you're on a roll? Good. Oh. You see what I have to put up with? On a roll. Oh. I'll do the dad jokes around here, thanks. Right, child, so this is what you do next. Keep going, because we're going to need more.
Oh.
What you do is you take this, dump it in here.
Oh, cool. All that hard work.
Well, that's the whole point. And you kind of moosh it around into the
Smushed up again.
plaster until it starts to absorb it and it will start to fall apart. You see? This always takes way more water than you think it's going to. I'm always worried that I'm going to put too much water in. It's going to go like water.
Yeah.
And then you just end up putting more and more and more in. You've got to be fairly quick with this stuff because it tends to start to dry very fast.
So we're basically making paper mache except with toilet paper.
And plaster of Paris rather than all-paper paste or PVA glue.
Ah, my tissue! It's fine.
But you see, this kind of starts to fall apart, the paper, which is what we want. Right,
Enough.
that might do for now, but we'll probably want some more later. We'll probably have to do a couple of batches.
Good.
Rest. You've done torn up some tissue paper. Good grief. It's tough at the coal face, isn't it? Good Lord. Right, now, let's move all that to one side for a second. Get this back in. And I think what we're going to do... I'm going to turn that around that way because this looks better on this side. Because we've got some newspaper here. I think what we'll do is how much of a thing do you want? Do you want it like round like that, or do you just want it across the back? Well, the piles of rubbish, do you want it round like this, or do you just want it like the back?
Right, one there and one there. But yeah, round the back.
What, like that?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's just... I should mention, by the way, we don't read this particular paper, if any of you have seen what it is. We get it off the neighbours, and we use it to line the parrot's cage. Same as the certain other newspaper that shall remain nameless. But we won't go into all of that. Anyway.
And then the parrot goes and scuffles around.
And then
chews it
the
up.
parrot goes around and scruffles around it and chews it up, exactly. Well, we might as well get some use out of it. Right. Oh, rip, damn you. Come on. Right, we just want to get this kind of stuck down. Like.
Quite small.
What?
Oh, I was thinking of a huge, great big.
What?
Oh, never mind. Obviously, our ideas of trash heaps are very different.
Well, it's like I said, what we'll do, once we've done this, is we'll make a background for it. Right, and then we just take our
It looks like
fake sculptor mould.
it looks like that foam stuff, but like
What, polystyrene foam?
Yeah.
Oh, it does a little bit, yeah.
chewed up.
Well,
Except I wouldn't want to chew up.
well, don't chew either of these things, because neither of them will do you any good. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's an inanimate object. It can't really wander if it wanted to. Can't
Well,
even.
it's wandering
It
off.
can't even want if it wants to.
Well, it was wandering off.
Right. I mean, to be honest, we could have just done this with paper mache, but
I got a couple bits and rip them up all together. That would save me quite a lot of time and effort. Yeah, see.
right. And while you're doing that, I'll just keep scooching this around, and we'll get it. Because, like I say, what we want to do with this is cover it up afterwards. So this is just to provide us with a base. But by doing it like this, we can hide a multitude of sins.
When's Remembrance Day?
It's the Sunday closest to Armistice Day. So it's November the 11th is Remembrance Sunday. Well, November the 11th is Remembrance Day, and then Remembrance Sunday is the closest Sunday to November the 11th.
So we've only done it about 3 months in advance.
Huh?
We made poppies in art today.
Oh, good.
Of course, they were clay poppies, so they would have to be fired.
Yeah, they've got to be fired and everything, so you need to
and
plan ahead.
Have to be fired and killed and
Kilned, not killed.
same difference.
No, it's not the same difference at all.
Yes, it is. And then they get thrown outside.
Well, they get put outside.
Right.
They don't exactly get thrown outside, do they?
No difference.
Well, no, because there's a big difference between putting something somewhere and throwing it somewhere, isn't there? I'll remind you of that next time you ask me to get you something, and I'll throw it at you.
Well, not really. I mean, if somebody tells you to put your bag over there, you just sling it over there.
Well, a normal human being wouldn't. They would put it.
Oh. I can tell you quite a lot of normal human beings. Well, actually, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. I've met some of your school friends. Right. I'll just dump that there somewhere. Right. Right, there we go. Now what you can do with this stuff, once it starts to go off like this has, if you squirt a little bit of water on it, you can smooth it down. But I'm not going to worry about that too much because we're going to be covering this all up anyway. So what we need to do now, child, is wait for this to dry. But they won't take long. And we've got other things that we can be doing in the meantime.
I assume that involves cutting and
Yes.
putting stuff in, say, cut things and tying them up.
Yes. Right, so what we're going to do is have a little tidy up and then we'll carry on from there. What?
Because if I'm holding them safely, then how are you
No, you always hand someone anything bladed, handle first.
Yeah, but then you're not holding it safely.
Yeah, but you can hold it carefully like that and hand it over. So it's like there, you see, I've got the cutting edge away from my hand. So if you grabbed it and did that, I'm not going to cut my hands on them. Same with a knife. Always hold it with the cutting edge away from you and hand it someone handle first. Anyway, enough of knife safety. Pay attention to safety.
Health and safety.
Elf and safety. Gobbling your food is bad for your elf. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make some bin bags. to make some bin bags, we can use a bin bag. So we had to fight.
It's like painting sticks with light sticks.
We had to fight the missus for this. She didn't want to give it to us. But what we'll do is we'll just cut a bit off of this bag, off the top, because I'm not quite sure how much we're going to need yet. So we'll just go like that. This is honestly the best way to make scale model bin bags, is to actually use a real bin bag, because it's like, well, what looks better? Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into squares. So we'll go across.
We're not cutting all of that. There's a bit underneath it.
What? No, I'm going to cut it into squares.
Okay. Just checking.
Right, in fact, what I will do, I will cut that, because I'm going to cut that in half, because it'll make it easier to
Manoeuvre.
Yes. Right, I'm going to stick that over there for a minute. And what we do, we'll cut that across there as well, like that. And then we'll cut this across here. I'll cut this into 3, I think. As you can see, I'm taking great care in measuring this.
Oh yeah. Really?
No, not even a little bit. Right, then what we do, take one of our squares, get a bit of newspaper, and screw it up into a ball like that. That's about half a page, and then we fold up this like this, you see, and give it a twist at the top, and then we take one of these. I'm going to cut this up, I'm just going to put it on just for demonstration purposes. Wrap that around like that. And there you go. That's about 1/6 scale rubbish bag. So now we've got to make 1,000,000 of them. So we'll be back in a little while. Go and have a cup of tea or something, and yes, we'll come back when it's done. Right, well, she's come back just as I'm about to finish. Homework done? Good. What was your homework?
I needed to work out kinetic energy calculations and do division.
Ah, kinetic energy calculations for what?
A brick, a bee, person on a bike, and I can't remember what the other one.
So what is kinetic energy?
It's energy that is used when anything moves.
Good, yes, absolutely, well done.
Yeah, see, I'm smart.
You are smart. I've never said you're not. You're the one that always tells everybody you're not. I know what your plan was. Your plan was to come back, do one, and then pretend you'd done all of them, didn't you?
What? How dare you accuse me of such a thing?
But unfortunately, I don't know, viewers. What do you think? Should we tell her about the time lapse? Right, I think that'll do. Anyway, I'm bored of this. Look at the state of my hands. That that's all the print off the paper. Today's news, tomorrow's chip wrappers. So they don't wrap them in newspaper anymore. Anyway, bored of that. Oh, my back's killing me. Right, so let's try something here, shall we? Right, well, let's just get this back in for a second. And let's just see how we've done. I think hopefully we've got enough. Probably way too many. Perfect.
Can we have a couple ripped bags?
Oh. Anything else?
Well, to be honest, what I thought we were going to be doing is making individual pieces and sticking them on.
What, bits of rubbish?
Yeah.
Well, you could do that. But what, actual bits of rubbish?
Not like actual bits of rubbish. But
Well,
actual mini.
we could do that, but it would take forever. And I'm assuming.
Yeah, but I mean, do it like that and then just stick
well,
bits of coloured paper or something.
Well, yeah, we can do stuff like that. That's easy enough. I think we've probably got enough here. What we wanted? I mean, obviously we can do the whole thing and we can stack them up a bit. So, alright. Right, well, let's leave them there for a minute. Oh. Right, now the next trick. You'll like this. Right, let's get this back in for a minute. Ah. Huh?
Tie me out.
Well, I probably would, because you're probably going to end up wearing a lot of this. So, what we do is we get this little pot here.
Well,
And we get this. This is Studio Acrylics modelling paste.
pasta.
Yes, it's pasta. Don't eat it. Let's give that a little shake. Oh, oh. Right, and then we put a big blob of this in here, like that. Oh, a bit more than that, actually. Let's put a bit more in. That'll probably do. Right, then Crawford and Black Burnt Umber. This is from the Works. I'll give it a big dollop of that, like that. And then you wanted sand or sandy texture, right? So what we do is we get some sand, beach sand, and
Which beach is it from?
I don't remember, unfortunately. Usually I write it on the pot where it came from, and for some reason on this one I didn't. So put a couple of spoonfuls of that in. It may well be Bournemouth. And then we give it a stir and try not to get it everywhere.
Looks a bit like what you find on beaches when people are allowed to walk their dogs on them.
Yeah, that's not far from the truth. Right, I might put a bit more paint in that. Try and darken it a bit. Still a bit blowy out there then.
Yes, it is.
Right, let's put another.
Apparently the hot weather's returning though, according to someone.
Well, I dare say. Right, and now what we do is we put that back over there for a minute, pop that there for a minute, move all these out of the way for a minute, and then get a bit of kitchen roll. Stop messing with my bin bags. Right, let's pop that on there like that. And now we need a brush. Alright, let's just pop that over there out of the way. And what we do is you get a big dollop of this. And you just dollop it on, you see, like that.
Shouldn't we paint the mound in like all rubbish textures? So that any bits showing through will just look like...
Well, the idea is with this, if anything shows through it will just look brown. So it's just, this is just like a base coat.
So when we said we say we, but you.
Well, I'm just showing you like that, you see. But what you're going to have to probably do is you may well have to do a couple of coats. Not so much on this bit, but certainly on this bit down here.
Oh, I should have primed it with gesso.
Huh?
We primed it with gesso.
Well, we could have done. It's not like I haven't got enough of it. Usually when I talk to you about priming stuff with gesso, you just start rolling your eyes and moaning.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Right, and I want you to do that front bit as well.
Oh, God. On all the sides as well?
No, you don't necessarily need to do the sides. You can do the
What's
ends.
the point of doing the front?
Do the ends, but you don't need to do the back.
Do the ends?
The ends.
Oh. You mean the sides?
Well,
I thought I was doing this. God. Give me the chocolate.
but you've got plenty of it, so there's more than enough of it to go around. So, how about it? I'm just going to get a drink. Oh, feel free to talk to the viewers at home.
Good, I have to. Just realised what this looks like.
You're winning. What was that?
Just realised what this looks like.
You get on with it.
I've done it.
Right. Okay, so what I need to do now...
Gaping hole.
Huh?
Big gaping hole.
Well, did you do the back alright?
I think so. I had to
You
stand.
haven't done this end.
What?
Do the ends.
Oh. God, that wasn't much, didn't it?
Well, I'm pretty sure I said that.
You did.
Do the ends and then or do the sides, and you were like, it's the ends, and then didn't do it.
Oh. No, you said it was the end. I said it was sides.
Well, whatever. You still didn't do it.
Oh, cool.
Semantics aside.
What's a semantic? Got little bits along the bottom, but I can't lift it up to do the little bits on the bottom.
What?
And then it's got little nicks in the bottom of it. That's got
Oh,
blue.
don't worry about that.
Good, I won't.
So what you want to do is put it on like that, quite thick. Mainly around the front here, but I mean you can do all this as well again, but the main thing is getting this bit like that. It's not like we ain't got enough of it, so while you're doing that you can also do this. Look, see this is
A sponge.
well, it's kind of. It's out of a fish tank filter. But you see, it's very coarse. And what you do is you just it gets rid of the brush marks and kind of evens everything out. But you need to cover the whole thing in it first, so make sure you get it all over. Because what this also does is it gets rid of the brush marks, so it doesn't look quite so brushed on.
No, it looks sponged on.
Well, alright, I think that will do us. So,
What?
right, well we'll leave this now and then we'll come back to it later. Are you impressed with it so far?
Yeah, mildly 10.
Right, see you in a bit. Right, it is the next day. It must have been too cold in the workshop overnight because this still hasn't dried properly, but it was enough for us to carry on. So what we're going to do now is start putting our rubbish bags on, and we're going to try something. Pound shop spray adhesive. What could possibly go wrong? Right, I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't want that getting covered in spray glue. Right, move that and that. Move all this stuff over a bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another bit of kitchen roll behind this, because I get the feeling this stuff's going to go over. I'm also going to wear gloves because I don't want this all over my hands.
Oh, did you not?
Not really, no. Right, so I think what we want to do is we want to kind of layer this. So I think if we start with a row of them across the top like that, and then we can kind of layer it downwards.
I see.
So this is going to be fine. Let's see what this actually sprays like. Oh, it's not too bad. Right, so I'm going to spray that like that. Oh, it stinks. Right, and we'll do a little like that. And now, hopefully, we can just go stick. And it doesn't. It's a bit tacky. It's fine. I think what we need to do is let it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray, pop that down there, and
Yes.
oh, it's really going to stick to the paper now. You watch. We'll do a few like this, and then we can see how we go. Alright. Alright. They are sticking, I just don't know how well they're going to stay stuck. I should probably just get my 3M glue and use that. My very expensive 3M spray adhesive. Because if you want to stick something to something else, 3M is usually the best way to go. Right, I think this will be alright. I'll tell you what I will do actually. just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take this piece of kitchen paper here and I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to put it there so that we can avoid getting too much overspray of this stuff everywhere else. What do you think? Looks like a rubbish tip. Does it look suitably tippy?
I was kind of more expecting a... You know, like in...
Wally,
Yeah.
you were thinking there's going to be piles of rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the trouble is with that is that takes an awful lot of work. And seeing as someone's perpetually in a hurry and never actually wants to stop and do things properly, then this is what you get. So, quit your snivelling. Well, I have to say, the pound shop spray glue is not terrible. It's it certainly seems to be working, at least for what we're doing. I mean, I wouldn't want to trust it for anything important, but oh, it seems to be doing alright for this, so alright, let's wedge a few of these in here at the back. Right, we'll stick a few more of these on and then we'll see what it looks like. The rain is raining harder than before, and we've now stuck so many bags on this that I'm not sure there's going to be enough room for all the catchment out. Raining. Yes, so this glue actually has worked rather well, all things considered. I don't know what it'd be like for anything else, but I love the way it says directions, use only as directed. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's everything seems to be on here fairly securely, so yeah. Now, what we're going to do next? We need to dirty it up a bit.
God, there's not going to be enough room for one cow in there soon.
Well, no, I was just thinking we need to put some. That needs to go in the bin before we go any further.
I kind of want to put some metal bits around there to hold up the bags. Or not bags. In other words, tin foil.
What?
Wait.
What do you mean, like corrugated iron?
What? No, I just put a little bit of tin foil in the little entrance again.
Is this for the
tin foil now?
If this is for the cats to go in, we need to paint that black.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an assortment of colours. Well, 2 or 3, and we're going to put some dirt on this thing just to make it a bit less uniform. We'll try a little bit of this, see what it's like. Just dob some of that in there. Because yeah, look, that is not black, that's grey. Despite the fact it claims quite loudly on the lid to be black, it's really not. This is black. And this is almost empty as well.
Oh. Cool.
And we'll have a bit of this yellow ochre, because we can. Now, first thing we want to do is get in there and darken that down a bit so that it doesn't look quite so much like everything else. Right, get a bit of water in there as well, and then what we'll do is go in there and just I kind of want it to look nice and ick, yeah. So we just use various, because as I say, there's no rhyme or reason to this, it's all just very... This looks suitably disgusting.
Yes.
And mucky and horrible.
It's like cat poop.
Well, let's get a bit of this. Oh, actually, you know what we could do? Should use some of this. That really does look like poo. This basically looks like a pile of rubbish has been sitting and rotting for God knows how long. Just dab a bit of this on everywhere just to make it look a bit more grotty. What do you think?
Very rubbishy.
Very rubbishy. So unlike your t-shirt where it's like that but less rubbish, it's like that but more rubbish.
Yeah.
That's a good technique for doing things like this. You just get the brush wet and then just hit it on your finger and it just flicks. Now, what else? I must admit, I do agree with you, child. It would be nice to have a bit more rubbish on here. Like actual rubbish. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. Because the thing is, it's like we could print out some, like, you know, cereal boxes and stuff like that and make them and put them on here. But the trouble is, because of the size of the cats, the cereal boxes would be about that big to be in scale, which is a bit much, I think. Or should we just forget scale and just throw some stuff on there and go, nah, that's good enough?
Yeah.
Alright, well, we can do that. Right.
You just don't print cereal boxes then. Just
Well,
cut up bits of coloured plastic and stick it on.
yeah. Right, we're gonna
Go for the cheap and tacky look.
we're gonna sort out some bits and pieces to put on here to make it a bit more rubbishy, and then when we put them on, we'll come back and we'll see what we're doing. Right, she's just gone to get the cats, and it just suddenly occurred to me because of course I've got all this newspaper left over. So what I've started doing is just ripping a few little bits of this, and just kind of throwing it on. I mean, literally throwing it on and then just kind of mushing it in with the paint while it's wet. So, which I think is actually kind of helping quite a lot. It's just like just shove it around a bit and, you know, just put bits here and there, and just like around the bags and that, just to make them, just to kind of, so it's not just like a pile of bags sitting on something. It actually looks a bit more organic, if that makes sense. So that's what I want to do as well, is make sure this is all nicely blended so that there's no like plain brown bits, because that will look weird. But yeah, this is actually working quite well. Oh, if the paper would stick to the paint and not to the brush, it would be helpful. Yeah, I think this will work. I'll throw a load more of this on, and then we'll go on from there. We'll see what else we can find to put on here.
I brought you 3 cats and some plastic.
Well, I was just saying, actually, this paper is working quite well. I'm not even sure if we really need a great deal other than this. I was just going to put a load of this on. I mean, leave it there anyway, because we might use it, but I say this is actually working. What's that, a Kit Kat? Well, not a Kit Kat, it's a
Fake Kit Kat.
fake Kit Kat. Aldi's own brand. They're very nice, actually. Not a sponsor. I actually find, oddly enough, the Aldi's own brand chocolate, I prefer it to the name brand stuff, because I find the name brand chocolate is too sweet. Because obviously the way they make chocolate cheaper is they put less sugar in it. So I actually prefer some of the own brand stuff because it's not as sweet. Oh, get in there, stay. Stay. Oh, you're not going to go in there, are you? You can go in there instead. Yeah. I have to say, I am quite impressed with how this is going down. It's working quite well. Looks suitably icky. I mean, the scale is all over the place now, but whatever. Mad, is it? Huh? Well, it's like I say, it doesn't really. It's not like we're going for 100% realism here. It's
You should see the cat muscles I tried to do on this one.
Because what we might be able to do is chuck a couple of bits on, and then get some of this and actually yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Let's get that out of there, actually. Well, I say the one good thing about this plastic is it has it gives it plenty of texture.
Yeah, see?
Because obviously the paper just tends to lay flat, but right. What do you think? Does it need anything else? I don't really know if it does it?
Yes, it does. It needs cats.
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Is like if we load it up with too much stuff, then it's just going to.
No, probably not.
But the thing is, what we're going to have to do now is leave this to dry. Because if you put your cats on there now, they get mucky feet. Cats don't like having mucky feet.
They don't.
No, they don't. Any cat owners, back me up in the comments. Cats do not like having mucky feet.
Do they not?
No, they really don't like having muddy feet. So I vote we leave this to dry.
For how long?
Well, I might have to hit it with a hairdryer or something, but it's going to be a while.
Brought the cats in there and everything.
Well, I know you brought your cats and everything, but it needs to dry. So, patience is a virtue, child, not just a card game.
Well, I don't know how to play either of them.
Yeah, whatever. And I need to go and wash these brushes up. So, right, we're going to have a bit of a tidy up, and then let this dry, and then we'll come back and put some cats on it. So, back shortly. So, some time has passed. It's the next day. Someone's been whinging incessantly about getting this finished, haven't they? But this is where we're at so far. So this is pretty much done now. I did give it a lick of matte varnish earlier just to seal everything and also to knock the shine off of the bags, which I think has made a lot of a difference. And I've also made this background for it. But what we need to do is find a way to make that kind of stay like so. Now we could just pin it on, but somebody wants to be able to take it in and out. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and stick some bits of cardboard to it to make it stay as a box so that she can take it in and out of the thing. So what we're going to do is flip it on its back like so. Right. Hold that, child.
Oh, God. Maybe said I would have to help.
Well, yeah, I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Right, let's get a bit of cardboard. Now, and I need...
Don't breathe on me.
And that's rich coming from you. When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you filthy little creature?
There's sharp things.
Right, I'm going to cut a bit of cardboard. And I'll just do it the width. You probably can't even see this. But I'm just cutting it off just the width of the ruler because that's an inch. So we'll do 2 of them. Yes, because we've been moaning about drying times and having to actually wait for things to dry and stuff like that. So, haven't we, child?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. Right, so now if I bend that in half, what we should be able to do is something like that, you see. So let's get some glue on this.
That's not glue.
This is.
No, it's not.
This is.
No, it's not.
Water-based sealer, glue and finish.
It doesn't say glue on the front, it's not glue.
It does say glue on the front.
No, it doesn't.
I just... do you know what? That's way too much.
Oh well, can't have too much of a good thing.
Well, you can, because whatever squeezes out the side isn't doing anything, is it?
Yes, it is.
Alright, I'm going to put that like that. Now, can you hold that? Try not to push it around too much. Just hold it.
Can't you just use super glue?
No. I know about your obsession with super glue.
Super glue fix everything.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Fixes broken clay, fixes torn paper, fixes spinal injuries.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Alright, and then we'll put that on there like that. Right, let's have a look at this.
Oh, good, I can let go.
Now, what we need to do is you need to slide that model out of there. So just lift it up. You're going to have to get hold of it, child, because it's going to be in there quite tight.
I have got hold of it.
Right.
Ooh.
Now, this is all
Big
going
gouge, is it?
to... This is all going to... Oh, I know.
Oh, it stinks.
Well, Well, it's a rubbish tip. It's meant to stink. Alright, so we'll put that there. And we'll put that on there. And then put that on there. And that on there. Right, and then we just let it dry. Did you want to put that down? Right, and while it's waiting for that to dry, did you want to try and put your cats on here and see what they look like? Because we have a plethora of moggies, you'll be pleased to hear.
Yeah, but I've just realised I ain't painted 2 of them properly.
What? You ain't going to fit them all on there anyway.
Oh, good. We just leave those 2 out.
Right, let's put this over to one side for a minute. Right.
There's one cat.
So that's the one we did the other day, if you remember. This is the one with the fur.
Here's 2 cat. Here's 3 cat.
We appear to have all of the moggies.
Here's 1, 2. Here's 4 cat. Didn't I just say that?
We just
And
that is not going to fit, child. There is no more.
5 cat.
There is no more space for cats. We have reached.
We haven't aligned them properly.
We have reached peak cat. Yeah, but they're all just wedged together now. I told you they was going to end up like that. They're all just like all squeezed up together. Like, I can't breathe. Stop pushing. It's just. Well, you could put one of them up here like that, couldn't you? How about that? There you go. And they've all got too much tail on them. That's the trouble.
Cool.
Right. So. Although if that one's tail's poking over the back, then it's not gonna.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, we'll put it. You know.
Well, they're not all 4 of them going to be on there together at the same time.
Oh, okay. So what was that? This is you're doing a stop motion or something, aren't you? Did you say?
Yes.
Right.
I'm actually going to do it this time.
You're actually going. I was going to say because she keeps promising to do stop motions and they never see the light of day. So. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll wait for that thing to dry and then I think we can wrap this up. And here is our finished article. Are you happy with it, child?
It's alright.
Not even mildly content? Well, what would you do differently?
Put some metal around the den.
Yeah, well, we could have done that. We could have put the fence around it as well, but somebody wanted it done now. Raining. So anyway, here's our finished article with Yon Moggy. There are many other cats. Way too many to fit on this diorama, but apparently they're not all going on it at once. So there you go. Hopefully this has been of interest to some of you, and I dare say we may well be seeing more of the cats at some point if she ever gets around to doing this stop motion thing. But yeah, anyway. So yes, we'll probably need to add a few more little details to this as time goes on, but the main bulk of it is done. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this little video. As ever, I'd like to thank my top tier patrons, Amy and the anonymous Tosh, for their continued support, and indeed all of my patrons and all of my channel members and all the rest of you as well. You're all just as appreciated. It's just even just watching it, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It all helps. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this little foray into a rubbish tip, and we'll see you on the next video. Say goodbye, Katie.
Goodbye, Katie.
Cheers. Bye.